Welcome in this next installment of building our unicorn-themed Robotron style arcade game. We're going to now add in the pickups now that we're able to shoot and eventually run out of ammunition, so I can't fire anymore. We can run out of health. It's time to do something about that. So we are going to institute pickups. So if I look here, I've created an animated sprite of a heart and an animated sprite of would be a projectile, so that these are just they sparkle and animate while they're on screen. Each frame for the sprite is 16 by 16 instead of 32 by 32, so they're smaller than the player and enemy sprites. So we're going to take a look at how we can implement these into our project. Now these are simply going to be an animated sprite, and then we have to put it on screen, and then we'll have to figure out a way to manage these pickups that we're adding into our game. And for that we will be talking about using array lists instead of just a straight array like what we have done in the past with previous projects. So first step is I am going to make a new tab, and we'll call this pickup. And then class pickup, a couple of curly braces there, and now we have the standard thing. So we're going to just borrow some code from here. So they are not going to move, but they do need to have X, Y, and width and height. So we'll grab those, paste those values in. Now it also is going to have sprite stuff, so current frame offsets, etc. So we will grab that. Let's copy that. Paste that in, and then finally there's going to be one more item that we'll need, and we'll store that value in a string, and this will be type. Now the type of pickup that we will have, the two options we'll have right now will be heart and ammo. So now we need our constructor, and when we construct these, our main code, when it adds a new pickup, that's when it's going to determine what type of pickup to put in. So we'll go string pickup type. So we're passing that in as a parameter. So the first thing that we could do is we could just provide that value, type equals pickup type. And now we need to pass in our X, our Y, our width, our height, and a few other things that we'll have to pass, help it to know which row to use, etc. So we'll set our X, similar to what we've done before. We need to use floor, so we're getting an integer. And then we'll just start on 50 pixels from the edge, and then with minus 50, y is going to be equal to, oh, I forgot a parenthesis up here because we have two opens and now two closes, not one. Floor, random, 50, height, minus 50. Remember the double parentheses that time. W equals 16. H equals 16. And then we did our type equals pickup. So now if type is equal to heart, and I mean this is part of why I like to put a comment up here so I do remember what I'm trying to do there. Then we will say our row, the hearts are in row 0, so we'll say row 0, and then our value we can put in how much it's going to be, so like how much health we're going to get. We'll just say 50, and then at that point else if type equals ammo. Forgot we do need a value thing. It's there because we'll be passing that in to give those values on it. So, but the ammo is now not row 0, but all the sprite artwork is in row 1. and we'll say it gives us a value of 5. So every time we pick up ammo pickup, we'll get back 5. So we start out with 10, and we get 5 back when we do that. And now it's grumpy because we used value. There we go. So now it's not grumpy. Next, we need to define our animation stuff. Oh, inside here. See, this is where closing comments are good. This is and constructor. And down here, this is and class. And still in the constructor, we want to define out current frame offsets, total frames, etc. We've only defined our row, so we now need to define everything else. So our source X will start out at 0, and our source Y is going to start out at our row multiplied by the height. So this is why it's really important the order we define things, because so our height and our row have been defined already, so now we can define that starting Y value for this. And now our total frames, well, I can count that. That's going to be 5. There's 5 in each one. And if I did have a different number of frames for heart or ammo, I could define the current frame or total frames inside the type designation. So this is one thing that's nice, is if these values are not equal, so maybe one is 3 frames, one is 5 frames, if we had a different pickup that was 12 frames, we could just put those values in. And I like to start out at a random frame, because when the pickups show up on screen, if we put multiple ones on screen at the same time, so we don't stage them out, if they're all starting on the same frame, it just looks awkward. So now we will be using a timer to control when our pickups do show up in our game, so it probably isn't going to matter, but I just want to put this in. So, you know, maybe in a different situation, you will want to include something like that. Now, our delay will set equal to 4, and our hold, I'm going to set equal to 0 for now. Again, these are values. We play with these as we figure out, you know, how best to work with it. Now, the good part is when we're looking at this, we have an update where we update our animation frames, display, and then we can, when we're done with all of them, in this case, we don't make them permanently. We'll just add pickups as we use them and then delete them from the game, so we don't need to have a reset as part of it. But I will need my void update. This will be for animation fun, and we'll be able to pretty much just copy paste code from one of the other classes. And then void display, again, we will be able to just copy paste code from one of the other classes. So now, we go into the player. Let's go find. So we need to update our X position. We won't need to update our Y because it's only a 1 row of animation for each one. We've already set that, so we can delete that once we put it in. So we update our X position based on the current frame, so it keeps grabbing a new piece of artwork. Then our hold, we have that set up there to slow down our animation. Otherwise, we'd need to create a bunch of duplicate frames. It's much easier to just control it through code, so we can finesse it to make it work a little bit better. Now, as we go to work, display it, we have copy. And now we need the artwork. Now we haven't added or pick up artwork to our project, so I will get an error message here until we go back to our main code and load that image. So I'll just say, we'll call it pickups art. Now, one thing you can do to just make things a little bit easier to look at is we can go SX, comma, SY, comma, W, comma, H, comma, hit return again, X, comma, Y, comma, W, comma, H. Like that. Oh, forgot my parenthesis. Now we can auto format. You can see how we can put it all in one line, or this is the artwork that we're copying, and this is where and how big we're putting it on screen. So pickups art is failing at the moment. So let's go define that. So again, p image, pickups art, and now we can just go down here. Pickups art equals load image, and it's pickups.png. Okay, let's go back here. Look, no error message now, so that's good. Not a bad idea to save at this point. And why don't we put a test pickup on screen? Pickup. So capitalize for the case, the class, lowercase for that one right there. Pickup equals new pickup, and now we pass in what kind? Let's say heart. Like that. And pickup dot update. That updates our animation. Pickup dot display. And that will show it on screen. And now let's run our project and see what happens. And there's an animating heart down there. We can run it again. Let's see, does it show up in a new location? So there's the animating heart. Now let's change that to ammo. 2 M's, not 3. And now we have the animating ammo showing up there. All right, so we've added one pickup. Now what we can do is we can try and figure out how to handle collisions with that pickup.